bounced it off the ground. It's happened a couple times in the last couple meetings.
Is it? Okay.
Is it on or off?
It's on now, it's just probably hard to pull it.
First and only item on the agenda is Resolution 2023-08. Discussion on this?
You want me to do a brief introduction of it?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, Council, yesterday I was contacted by Mayor who expressed a lot of concern about a email that was received by Councilmember Kopacik whereby she copied the entire council on it. I believe all of you should have received essentially a resignation email from her yesterday. Ms. Kopacik in her email stated that she intended to resign effective immediately. Mayor and I discussed the matter along with City Administrator Clinton Rogers, and we opined that an emergency meeting was in order, and so that's what we are here for today, to either accept or reject the resignation letter from Ms. Kopacik. We have a resolution proposed for your consideration. It's 2023-08, whereby you accept the resignation immediately, effective immediately, and then we'll start charting a course forward to fill that vacancy. So essentially, you would either accept or reject this resolution, declare that a vacancy exists, and then we'll have some discussions in the future about how to fill this position. That's for your consideration here this morning. It is an incredibly important position. We have a lot of stuff coming down within the next 6 months. The law doesn't require you to fill the position, but I would strongly encourage you to do so because of the number of things that we have coming our way here over the next couple of months. So that's where we're at, and that resolution is proposed for your consideration.
Okay.
I motion we accept Resolution 2023-08.
I will second it. All in favor of accepting Resolution 2023-08?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed.
3-1.
The next step in the process, we should calendar this for discussion at the meeting on the 27th. And at that meeting, we should discuss how to, if you guys want to fill the vacancy, and how you want to go about doing that. There are various ways to fill it. I would encourage you to fill it. The law would encourage you to fill it. There's well over 3 years remaining in the term. Some councils would go out for applications and see who applies for the position. For instance, Lee Center just did this weeks ago, and they published it in the paper. Applications were received, the council reviewed those applications, and then they made an appointment. It is an appointment. The mayor, in this particular instance, does have a supermajority. Since we're down to 4, if you're tied up, the mayor actually gets to vote twice. So keep that in mind as you go forward. If you're tied up, the mayor gets to break that tie. Many cities would advertise it in the paper and like I say, do that process, and then there would be an appointment. Other cities would just simply do a direct appointment where you guys come to the meeting with names of people who are interested. You discuss those, and then you do a vote on it. Motion, second, regular vote. Again, in that situation, if you're tied up, the mayor again gets to break that tie. It's one of the few places where the mayor does have the ability to break a tie like that, essentially vote twice. third option is to keep the position vacant. You guys can do that, but it's not preferred. And with a number of things that we have coming, I would encourage you not to leave it vacant. Whoever is appointed to the position would fill out the balance of the term. So in 2024, your next regular election, there would be a special election, and that person then would be listed on the ballot as a special election, and whoever won that special election would serve out the balance of the 2 years remaining on that 4-year term, and from there, then you just start the 4-year cycle over again.
Okay,
Some things to consider between now and the next meeting.
well, we will have it on the agenda for discussion next meeting.
Yes.
So then
Yes.
like Jason said, at the March 27th meeting, the council will determine
How we are
how
gonna
you
fill
want
the
to
seat.
replace it. Yep.
Is it possible to appoint for just the remainder of this year, have an election this fall?
You could.
I don't know that we wanna add an election.
This question.
I mean, we could add, technically, we could add an election right now.
You could. You can always call for a special election, essentially at any time.
Right.
You would need some time to tool up for that, obtain ballots. There's a whole process there that you'd have to follow, but it is an option.
And there'd be quite an additional cost to have an election.
There is.
You're-
Election judges, everything.
You're talking several thousands of dollars.
Where if we waited for 24, then that would piggyback on the
Other
general
elections,
election
yes.
for legislatures and for president, et
Correct.
cetera.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And our costs would be significantly less because we would have a portion of that, not the whole thing.
You wouldn't have any extra cost.
Okay.
You would simply have your regular ballot.
Yep.
And I think on that ballot, you would have the mayor slot, and then you would have, I think, two council
Two
member slots.
councils plus the special.
And then the third slot would be special election, fill the remainder of 2-year term.
Yep.
So if you do it in 2024, there's no cost.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
When are we gonna have our discussion of names and stuff during the open meeting and,
Absolutely.
okay,
Okay,
Or if you decide to go through the application process, and you decide at that meeting, you know, you'll say Clinton and Andrea put an ad in the paper, and then, if you choose that.
And it would essentially be an application and a posting, just like you would for the EDA or planning and zoning. Or
okay.
the Lee Center just went through it, and that's how they did it. It took them 2 or 3 months to fill that. They had 5 applicants.
Okay.
And you're free to appoint whoever. I mean, it doesn't have to be, for instance, previous candidates, previous members of council. It can be anybody, literally anybody.
Do they have to be 18 years old or more?
Yes.
18 and
I thought that was
resident.
a criteria there. Yep.
A qualified voter, I think
Right.
is what they call it.
Yep.
And a resident of the city.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Any further discussion?
I really would like to say something about, I am disappointed that Melissa decided to not participate in the council any longer. I think that she was a voice of liberalism that was essential for a good board to have insight into that framework, because most of us are a little more conservative than that. And so I think that her opinion will be missed, her dedication. She was very strong-willed and very dedicated to her philosophies. So she will be missed. I needed to go on record with that. So thank you.
I think perhaps we should be sending her a letter thanking her for her time and the effort she put forth.
Would that be a resolution that you're, or?
Yeah, I'll make that.
I think that's a good motion. I would second that.
All in favor?
Whoa, 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 what's the motion?
To
A
give her
thank you letter from the council.
Okay.
Thank you, Ivan. Did we vote?
Not yet.
Who seconded? You did?
Yes.
Tim
I did, yep.
Jim did. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.
And I will say too, I mentioned in an email to Melissa yesterday, I did thank her for attending the various workshops and conferences that she's done over the years. I mean, she represented us outside of town, and that was very good.
But this would be an official city council
Yeah.
recognition by this letter.
Yep, and I was just saying that yesterday, I thanked her for
Yep.
all of the conferences and things that she's attended.
Yep,
She always
thank
did a
you.
good job with that, yep.
She is open to reapply for this if she wishes.
She could.
She could be the appointee if she wishes to serve.
Correct.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
8:28.